Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial on the basics of weightlifting. My name is Paul Petruchok, and joining us today will be Austin Haycock and Derik Schellenberg. In this video, we'll be showing you how to perform 5 of the most essential lifts in making sure you become the physically best you could be. So please stay and join us for this introduction to fitness. Before we can begin lifting, we need to cover the basics of the things that you'll be using along the way. The first being the all-important bar. In official Olympic weightlifting, there are many bars that are used. These being the 11-pound, the 22-pound, the 33-pound, and the 44-pound bars. In addition to the bar, every weightlifter needs a spotter. A spotter is someone to stand by your side while you lift in order to make sure that you don't injure yourself in the event something goes wrong. Keep in mind, though, generally speaking, your spotter is never supposed to help you with the lift. He or she is just there as a safety precaution. The last thing you're going to want to know before you get started is the importance of clips. After you slide your desired weight onto the bar of your choice, these small clips slide onto the end to keep things in check. They ensure safety by balancing the weights on the bar as well as keeping the weight stable. Now that you're all set up, let's jump right into the lifts. Let's begin with the back squat. Once you've prepared your bar and selected an appropriate spotter to stand behind you, you're going to want to establish your grip. For your grip, you should place your fingers roughly 1 inch away from the edge of the knurling or the rough part of the bar. If you are a particularly tall person, you may have to widen this grip just a tad, or shorten if you are particularly short. This grip will help to set your back flat and raise your trapeziuses on which you will later set the bar. Next, you must establish your base. To do this, place your feet roughly shoulder width apart from each other on the floor, or about the distance between the legs of a chair. Make sure that your feet are angled at about the 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock positions, and walk the bar back to your original position like so. The next portion of the lift is the descent. With your grip secured, base established, and back set straight, squat down such that your knees form an angle lower than 90 degrees. When doing this lift, you should aim to lower your butt to the point of touching your ankles, if you can. This motion helps to exercise both your quads and your hamstrings. It is also recommended that you inhale during the descent as well. Finally, we come to the ultimate stage of the lift, the drive. From your position on the ground, push up through your heel until you reach a full standing position once more. Pushing up through the heels provides the most stability and allows for the proper muscles to be worked. Repeat this motion as many times as your workout routine demands. Then, when you are ready to stop, simply walk forward, lower the bar onto the rack, and step away. Next, let's move on to the front squat. This squat requires a slightly different grip than the back squat. For this one, place your fingers at about a thumb's length away from the edge of the knurling, adjusting if needed. However, this time you need to grip it with only 2 fingers. Then roll your fingers under the bar and pick it up off the rack. Allow the bar to roll to the tips of your fingers and keep your elbows raised up high to keep the bar in place. This form, with your bar resting on your shoulders and kept in place by your arms, should help provide balance and keep the weight from applying too much strain to your hands, wrists, and fingers. Now we move on to your base. Fortunately, the base for this squat is exactly the same as the back squat. Next, the descent. Yet again, this portion of the lift is nearly identical to the back squat. With your elbows lifted high and your back set, drop into the squat. In order for the squat to count, it is crucial that you go below 90 degrees. Doing so will work both your quads and your hamstrings. Don't forget to inhale during the descent either. Finally, the drive portion of the lift. For this part, again, push up through the heels, allowing yourself to exhale, but make sure to drive your elbows up as well. Pushing through your heels provides the most stability, and keeping your elbows up helps keep the bar high on your shoulders, preventing your back from rounding. Once you have repeated the squat as many times as you need, return the bar to the rack the same way that you removed it. Walk forward, lower the bar onto the rack, and step backward.
Now we've come to the push press. This lift is one of the trickiest of the 5 and can easily be one of the most difficult. The grip required for this technique is the same as the one used for the front squat. Place your fingers a full thumb's length away from the edge of the knurling, adjusting if needed. Roll your fingers below the bar and lift off the rack. Once again, keep your elbows high in order to keep the bar in place. Next, be sure to establish your base. The base of this lift is just like the other two. Place your feet about shoulder width apart. This grounding helps you maintain stability during the later stages of the lift. Finally, the drive. The drive portion of this lift involves slightly dropping your legs into a partial squat, then driving the bar quickly up above and behind your head, exhaling the process. The short dip in the legs before the drive upwards helps to develop momentum for the push. Once the bar is pushed up, you must also push it behind your head in order to lock the joint. This way, you minimize the risk of the bar falling on you. After you have completed this stage of the lift, lower the bar down to your shoulders, then repeat as many times as you like. Once you have completed all of your reps, return the bar to the rack the same way as you would for the front squat.
Now that we've covered the first three lifts, let's move on to the one that's a little bit more interesting. Next on the list is the Romanian deadlift slide, or RDL for short. This lift will require a slightly different setup than what we've used before. Instead of a rack, this lift is performed off the ground. The grip of this lift lies just about a thumb's length away from the edge of the knurling, of course adjusting if needed, similar to many of the other lifts. For this exercise in particular, the grip is placed this way to allow for the hands to be out of the way, so that they can easily slide on your quads during a later portion of the lift. For this lift, your feet should be placed at roughly shoulder width apart, and you should also allow your knees to fall into a slight bend. This helps in many ways, as it not only allows your hips to fall into a full squat position for the pickup, but it also provides stability when standing the bar up. Additionally, the slight bend in your knees will engage your hamstrings and relieve some of the load off your back. This next phase is called tightening. In it, you should tense your back and try to keep your shoulder blades together and tight. This technique will help your back set for the lift during the pickup and your slides, also preventing possible injury in the process. Once you've tightened your back and shoulders, simply stand the bar up like so. This technique will help your back set for the lift during the pickup and your slides, also preventing possible injury in the process. Once you've tightened your back and shoulders, simply stand the bar up like so. However, we are going to show you how to complete a full RDL. To do this, there are two more steps to follow. The first of which being the close phase. From your standing position with your grip tight and your back set and your knees slightly bent, slide the bar down your legs to about your mid shin. Make sure to keep the bar in contact with your skid the whole way down. As you do this, be sure to inhale as well. Keeping the bar up close to your legs not only keeps the weight in control, but also prevents your back from rounding during the slide. Observe. Finally, we need to finish the lift. To do this, slide the bar back up your legs to the top of your hips and exhale as you go. Don't forget to keep your back set and the bar close. Pulling the bar to the top of your hips in this way will lock the weight locked into place at this stage, helping you to maintain control. Moreover, this also returns the bar to its original place before the slide, completing the cycle and allowing you to perform more slides. Once you have completed your desired number of reps, simply let go of the bar and allow it to fall to the floor. Now we've come to our last core lift, the bench press. This lift is perhaps the simplest of the 5 primary lifts, but can also be the most dangerous, so be careful. In order to do this lift, you are going to need a proper weightlifting bench. Once you acquire a bench like this one, place your bar on the rack along with your desired weight. Your grip for this lift is going to be very similar to those for all of the previous lifts, with your fingers placed about a thumb's length away from the edge of the knurling, adjusting if needed. Doing so will help center the bar over your body and provide stability. For this lift, your base is in fact not established in your feet, rather your placement on the bench. In order to perform this lift correctly, you must center yourself on the bench, with your head able to relax on the pad, about eye level with the bar above you. This lift is the only one of the 5 in which your spotter will play an active role. Once you both have your grip and your base established, have your spotter grab the center of the bar, hand over hand. Together, raise the bar off the rack. Once you have gained control of the weight, communicate to your spotter and have him or her let go of the bar. Then center it over your chest, like so. Next comes the descent. From this position, lower the bar straight down to about a 90-degree angle in your elbows, or roughly 1 inch off your chest, inhaling in the process. This exercises your body's full range of motion without hurting your shoulder joints. Then we have the drive. This part is simple. Just push the bar directly up from the chest back to its previous position. The chest serves as the most ideal place to push from, as many of our primary muscles will be engaged. Don't forget to exhale during this stage of the lift. Furthermore, your spotter should always be present so that if you at any point during the lift lose control of the weight, he or she can grab the bar and help you out of the situation. After repeating this motion as many times